All right, we are set.
All right, thank you. We'll begin with Frank Sabalas on the FY24 and FY25 budget update. Frank, if you're trying to talk, we can't hear you or see you.
Frank, are you there?
My apologies. I had to be pulled away for a second.
Okay. Oh, just
All
glad
right, Frank, you're up.
Okay.
24 and 25 updates.
Okay. 24-25 budget update. So actually, I've been playing with the 25 budget, so I'll be back to it for a second. Give me 1 second to pull up my spreadsheet again. This happens when you're in the office. All right. So let me share my screen with all of you really quick. So really quick, Johnson shares here. Screen. At the end of this budget year, we will be sending back to the fund balance a little $313,000. We have about $70,000 in law enforcement grants that we can grant out. But the biggest thing was that we didn't give some grants, ISAs to DPS, and we didn't get to do some of our CPI updates that we were trying to do. So we had a large amount of money that's going to go back because of that. So now looking at FY25, actually moving back up for FY24, they're sweeping about $8.8 million from our fund. We don't know at this time if that's going to happen in FY24 at the end, or it's going to happen at the beginning of FY25. So I have it listed in two different ways. One, I have it coming out in FY24 showing that our fund balance will drop down to 2.9 million, and we can go into FY25 projections. So our appropriation for FY25 did drop to 6,740,900. With that being said, really the biggest change was in the task force because they removed the fuel grant that they gave them the increase for fuel. So that's the biggest change. Everything else stayed the same. In FY25, we are going to be audited by Heinfeld and Meach. For every 2 years, we have to have an audit done. So that's what we're looking at. We're still looking about having about $26,000 roughly at this time for law enforcement or upper outreach grants at the end. We're still planning to do some kind of CPI update. We just don't know when that's going to happen. And we're anticipating transferring about $365,000 over to the task force for buildup and vehicle purchases. That's our plan at this time. And as you can see right here, I have the $8.8 million coming out in the first month of FY25. We are still anticipating to have the same kind of assessment income. It wasn't a very big increase. It was very, very small. So we're just going to see what happens. We're going to say about 7.2 million is what we're going to receive in assessment income. I still have us having a high return on investment, about 40,000. I won't know if that's going to change very much until the first couple months of the new budget year. So that's where we're at with our budget. Any questions? Very done. All right.
Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome.
No other questions. We'll move on. Sorry, I lost my cursor. To the AATA grant request review. We have 8 grants to review. Anne, are you going to provide a summary for each, or okay? If you want to start with Apache Junction PD.
Sure. I'll just do a quick recap too, Chief. As Frank mentioned, we have about $70,000 available. We issued the solicitation and got back 8 requests that totaled 145,415. So obviously more than double than what we have. So staff recommendation is to fund all 8 of those grants at the total award of $69,884. So the first grant is Apache Junction Police Department. They asked for $12,274 for 5 vigilant LPR cameras and the subscription fees for a year. The program will supplement their flock camera program already in place that we assisted them with funding 2 years ago. Those cameras are easily moved from one area to another depending on crime trends. Staff recommendation is to fund $10,000, $500 of their requests for those cameras. Any questions for Apache?
No question. Do you want to go through them all, then vote, or vote
Sure.
after each one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
I think, how did we do it?
I know we voted separately. I just don't know.
If we do it all at the end. I'll go through
Yeah.
them. We'll go back and do all the motions. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up is Avondale Police Department. They submitted a grant for $19,873. The request was for 3 grappler packages that are a little over 6,000 each, but they also wanted some extra deployment nets. So staff recommendation is to fund 1 grappler package to pilot this project, determine the use and effectiveness for vehicle crime apprehensions. So that recommendation is the $6,050.
Okay.
Gila County Sheriff's Office, their request was for $37,112. Request for LPR system to be deployed north of Highway 188 and Highway 87 junction on the southwestern end of Gila County. Staff recommendation is to partially fund this program so they can get it up and running, and that is the amount of $9,700.
Would that get them 3, or do you know what that gets them?
Yes, that gets them a whole one system. Their
Just
original
one system?
Mhm. One.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Glendale Police Department, their request was for $20,000 for an LPR system and the build-up costs for a Glendale PD undercover vehicle used daily to identify and recover stolen vehicles. Staff recommendation was to fully fund the award.
And is that just for the LPR system or the car too?
It's
That's
the
just LPR,
LPR
right?
build out of the LPR onto the vehicle, the Glendale PD
Okay.
vehicle. Maricopa County Attorney's Office request is for $1,214.43. That was the request to reimburse them for the auto theft prosecutor, Frank Woods, who attended the New Mexico training, the multi-state ATPA New Mexico training. So staff recommendation is to fully fund that request. Oro Valley Police Department request was for $12,100. They requested 2 grappler packages. Just like we did with Avondale, we are recommending 1 grappler package to pilot and determine the use and effectiveness for those vehicle crime apprehensions. Peoria Police Department, the request was for $3,341.64. The request was for 3 detectives to attend the Western States Auto Theft Investigators Training, just hotel and registration costs for that. And that's in Palm Springs, September 15th through 19th. Staff recommends funding the request for the full amount. And then we have Tombstone Marshal's Office. They came in the request for a couple different camera systems as part of their project. Obviously is just kind of trying to make the money go as far as we could. We're looking at a partial funding for their LPR system at $13,000. Any
All right,
questions?
thank you. Any other questions? Does anyone have any conflict of interest? We don't have anyone from any of these agencies on the board, right?
Yes, I need to abstain or conflict off of a vote for number 5. This is Leslie.
Oh, for verticals? Yeah. Leslie will.
yeah. All right, so do I need to just do them all except for Maricopa County Attorney's Office then?
Well, we haven't gotten to Maricopa County because
Okay.
that's year 25. So we'll do that with the task force after this one.
What
Oh,
about
I'm sorry.
the
I was talking about the
reimbursement?
request for Frank Wood's reimbursement. That's
Yeah,
my
the
fault.
reimbursement.
Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
All right. I will make a motion to approve the Apache Junction PD grant for $10,500, Avondale PD grant for $6,050, Gila County Sheriff's Office for $9,700, Glendale PD for $20,000, Maricopa County Attorney's Office for $12.14 and 43 cents, Oro Valley for, sorry, not Maricopa, we're going to do that one separately. Oro Valley for $6,050 and Peoria Police Department $3,341 and 64 cents. Can we get a second?
Are we also doing households?
Chief, I think you
Oh,
forgot
I missed Tombstone.
Yeah.
So I missed Tombstone. Sorry. So amend that to add Tombstone Marshal's Office for 13,000.
This is Bob Tyser. I'd second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay. Going back, I'll make a motion for the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for $1,214.43. Leslie Lemons will be abstaining from this vote. Can we get a second?
All motion for a second.
Thank you, Bob. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Let's see, the DPS Vehicle Theft Task Force grant request. Ann, are you covering that?
Mm-hmm. Sure thing. Let's see. Get that on my agenda here. Okay, fiscal year 25 Vehicle Theft Task Force grant. Their request was, this year's request was for $4,910,000, $4,910,000. The latest budget that just got passed on Saturday shows their line item, which is $4,452,600. And that's, I think, basically, if I'm wrong, Frank, correct me. That's basically their request from last year minus the 68,000 or so in the fuel replacement costs. So staff recommendation is to keep them at the funded line item of $4,452,600.
And the version I'm looking at says 4,910,000. So just confirming 4,452,600, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the DPS Vehicle Theft Task Force grant in the amount of 4,452,600. I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Leslie. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving on to vertical prosecution grant requests. Ann?
Okay, great. La Paz County Attorney's Office, their request was same as it was last year, $139,393, and that's staff recommendation. Basically, as Frank reported, the verticals are going to stay at total request for all 6 agencies was $1,539,121. And total available is that 1.362093 number. So our recommendation is to keep everybody at the same level as last year. So that covers La Paz. Maricopa County Attorney's Office, the request was for $429,441. Staff recommendation is the $291,399. Mojave County, their request this year was $187,833.36. Staff is recommending the 151,456 amount. Pima County request was for 361,440, and staff recommendation is 358,832. Canal County request was $340,218. That was the same amount as they requested last year, and what we'll be able to fund them. Santa Cruz County, $80,795, and we're recommending the same amount for fiscal year 25. Any questions?
All right. If there's no questions, we'll do two separate votes. Let's do the easy one first. I'll make a motion to approve Maricopa County Attorney's Office vertical prosecution grant in the amount of trying to look at my notes. The 429,441.
It is for Maricopa County, $291,399.
Okay, thank you. 291,399. Can I get a second for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
We'll have to have Leslie.
Yeah, with Leslie.
Yeah, I'll abstain.
Any opposed? Okay, that takes care of Maricopa County. So I'll make a motion to approve La Paz County for 139,393, Mojave County 151,456, Pima County 358,832, Canal County 340,218, and Santa Cruz County 80,794. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Leslie. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All righty. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the board? Hearing none, we can adjourn. We will be meeting this Saturday, the 21st, right?
Friday.
Looking at, yeah, sorry, I'm off on both times. On Friday, the 21st at 10 a.m. online. All right, with that, do I need a motion to end the meeting? Can I get a motion to end the meeting?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Bob. I'll second you. Everyone have a nice day. We'll see you on Friday.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chief and Jamie.
Recording still.
Sorry.